Have you ever wondered how just a few simple English phrases could completely transform the way you connect with others? In a world where conversations happen every moment, at the cafe, in the office, on the street, mastering the right expressions can mean the difference between awkward silence and confident flow. This story isn't about grammar rules or vocabulary drills. It's about unlocking the real-life power of everyday English, 60 essential phrases that native speakers use without thinking. What are they, and how can they help you speak naturally, fluently, and with confidence? Let's dive into the first moment that changed everything. It all began on an ordinary Monday morning, the kind where nothing seems remarkable, yet everything has the potential to change. Elena, the host of English in Moments, appeared on screen with her usual calm energy. Today, she said, we're going to unlock the building blocks of real conversation, phrases you'll use every day without even realizing it. With that, she set the tone for what would become one of the most practical and confidence-boosting lessons any English learner could experience. Her message was simple. You don't need complicated grammar to sound fluent, you just need the right words at the right time. The focus, 60 essential English phrases. These weren't the kind you'd find in a textbook, but the ones you hear in elevators, during coffee breaks, or when making casual plans with friends. From good morning to do you want to grab lunch, every phrase was a key that unlocked smoother, more natural interactions. As she explained, daily conversation is like a dance. There are rhythms, turns, and steps that native speakers follow intuitively. The good news? You can learn them too. Elena began with greetings and polite conversation starters, the foundation of every interaction. She explained that saying good morning or hi, how are you isn't just polite, it's a signal that opens the door to connection. A simple response like, I'm good, thanks, how about you? Might seem small, but it sets the tone for everything that follows. Elena didn't just say the phrases, she brought them to life through real-world examples. She painted a scene. You walk into your office and say, hey, good morning. A co-worker replies, morning, how are you? You smile and answer, doing well, thanks for asking. That's it. No stress, no overthinking, just easy, flowing English. She then moved on to polite requests, reminding learners how tone and choice of words can change the entire feel of a conversation. Instead of demanding, help me, you can say, could you give me a hand? Or would you mind helping me with this? The power of adding please and following up with thank you so much, or I really appreciate it, wasn't lost on her audience. You could almost hear the confidence building. What made this part of the lesson so compelling was how relatable it felt. Everyone knows what it's like to forget how to respond when someone says, how are you? Or to hesitate when asking for help in a new language. But Elena broke it down so simply, so clearly, that suddenly those awkward moments became manageable. In that first part of the lesson, learners weren't just memorizing lines, they were absorbing the natural rhythm of real English. And with every phrase, they moved one step closer to fluency. After laying the foundation with greetings and polite requests, Eleanor seamlessly transitioned into the next layer of authentic conversation, expressing opinions, asking for thoughts, and making everyday decisions with confidence. It was a natural next step. Once you've opened a conversation, what keeps it alive is the ability to share your ideas and respond to others thoughtfully. She began with a situation almost everyone could relate to, making plans with a friend. Imagine saying, I'm thinking about ordering pizza tonight. What do you think? This simple question, she explained, does more than just ask for someone's input. It invites collaboration, builds connection, and shows you care about the other person's preferences. A response like, that sounds great, or I'm not sure, maybe something lighter, keeps the conversation flowing naturally. Eleanor emphasized that phrases like, do you agree, that makes sense, or I don't think so, are not just fillers, they're tools for navigating shared decisions. In her words, fluent speakers don't just speak quickly, they speak in ways that keep the dialogue balanced, open, and respectful. With each phrase, she gave mini dialogues to help learners picture themselves using them. Next, she explored introductions and reconnecting, moments that can feel awkward in any language. She reminded viewers that whether you're meeting someone new or seeing an old acquaintance, the right phrases make all the difference. Nice to meet you, it's a pleasure to meet you, or nice to see you again. Each one carries a different emotional tone but shares the same purpose, creating comfort. To make it more tangible, Eleanor presented a short scene. You meet a new colleague at work. "Hi, I'm Emily." The person responds, "Hello, Emily, I'm Mark. It's truly a pleasure to meet you." You reply, "Nice to meet you too." Later, as the conversation ends, you say, "It was great talking to you. See you around." These brief exchanges may seem small, she noted, but they build a foundation of trust and approachability. Another critical part of everyday communication Eleanor covered was offering and accepting things politely. Whether you're offering someone a drink, "Would you like some tea?" or accepting it with, "Yes, please," or "No, thank you," these simple responses go a long way. It's not just about words, it's about tone, body language, and warmth. She also tackled those tricky moments when we don't hear something clearly, equipping learners with phrases like, "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that," or "Could you please repeat that?" These are moments that often cause panic for English learners, but Eleanor's calm tone reminded everyone it's okay to ask. It's part of the flow. By the end of this second section, it became clear. Mastering English isn't about saying big, impressive sentences. It's about saying the right small things at the right moment and saying them with clarity, kindness, and confidence. Building on the foundation of giving opinions, introductions, and polite exchanges, Elena next guided her audience into one of the most practical and often overlooked parts of real-world conversation: everyday social interactions that occur spontaneously in work, school, or public settings. This part of the lesson was about applying all the earlier phrases in real-life scenarios, conversations that happen naturally, without warning, and often without time to think in English. She introduced the section with a relatable scene. You walk into your office, spot a colleague, and say, "Hey, good morning." They smile and respond, "Morning, how are you?" You reply, "Doing well, thanks." Then, needing assistance, you continue, "Listen, could you give me a hand with this report?" The colleague nods and says, "Sure, happy to help." You end with, "I really appreciate it." Each line in that short dialogue was a phrase previously introduced, now brought together into a fluid, natural interaction. Eleanor's message was clear. Knowing phrases is only the first step. Using them in context is what builds fluency. She expanded the examples with common situations like inviting someone to lunch, "Do you want to grab lunch together?" and discussing choices. "What do you think about trying that new sandwich place?" Responses like, "Sounds good to me," or "I'm not sure, maybe another time," showed how small decisions can be expressed naturally and politely. The next focus was on showing understanding and active listening, a vital skill in any conversation. Phrases like, "I see," "Got it," "Exactly," and "That makes sense" weren't just taught as vocabulary. Eleanor explained how they help signal that you're paying attention, respecting what others say, and encouraging them to continue. For example, when someone says, "We need to finish this by Friday," replying with, "Got it, I'll start working on it now," communicates readiness and attentiveness without over-talking. But what happens when things go wrong or there's a misunderstanding? Eleanor introduced the power of simple, respectful apologies. "I'm sorry," "Excuse me," and "I didn't mean to" are easy to say, but often forgotten in tense moments. Whether you're late, "Sorry I'm late, traffic was bad," or accidentally interrupt someone, "Excuse me," these phrases help maintain harmony and show professionalism. She wrapped up this section by emphasizing how small acts of language create big impressions. Whether it's asking someone, "Could you repeat that?" after missing a word, or offering feedback with, "That makes sense," these tiny exchanges build credibility, approachability, and confidence. By integrating phrases into daily scenarios, Eleanor turned abstract language into living speech. At this point in the lesson, it wasn't just about learning English, it was about living it, one phrase, one sentence, one human moment at a time. As learners began to internalize the rhythm of real conversation through natural scenarios, Elena took the next logical step, introducing emotionally rich expressions, the kind that deepen relationships and reveal character. It was no longer just about sounding polite or responding correctly. It was about connecting through empathy, encouragement, and sincere communication. She began with the most uplifting part, giving compliments and showing appreciation. "You look great. That's a clever idea." Or "I really liked your presentation." These small phrases, Elena explained, can brighten someone's day and foster a friendly atmosphere, especially in workplaces and social settings. A scene followed. A co-worker says, "Your presentation was really clear and professional." And the reply, "Thanks so much. I was nervous, but I'm glad it went well," not only acknowledges the compliment, but adds a human touch. Next came encouragement, something all learners and people need from time to time. Elena gave empowering phrases like, "You can do it, don't give up," and "I believe in you." These aren't just phrases for others, they're tools you can use to support classmates, co-workers, and even family members. She painted another picture. A friend says, "I'm worried I won't pass my exam," and you respond, "You've studied hard, you've got this." That moment, she said, is where language becomes more than just words, it becomes emotional support. Elena also touched on the importance of responding with care when someone shares bad news or difficult feelings. "I'm sorry to hear that, that must be tough," or "Do you want to talk about it?" These phrases carry emotional weight. A conversation where a friend says, "I lost my phone," and you reply, "Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you need any help?" may seem small, but it communicates attentiveness, concern, and kindness. Equally important was responding to kindness or help. When someone helps you, saying, "That would be great, thanks," or "Thanks a ton, I really appreciate it," shows gratitude beyond the generic "thank you." And when someone says thank you to you, replying with "You're welcome, anytime," or "It's my pleasure," keeps the interaction warm and open. What stood out in this part of the lesson was Elena's focus on tone and authenticity. Anyone can memorize words, she reminded viewers, but it's how you say them, and when that truly matters. Whether expressing joy for someone's success or concern for someone's hardship, these phrases give learners the tools to navigate not just conversations, but relationships. By the end of this section, it was clear English fluency wasn't just about fluency of speech, it was about fluency of the heart. And with these emotionally intelligent phrases, learners were one step closer to becoming confident, thoughtful communicators in any setting. Having explored how language can express emotions, offer support, and build deeper human connections, Eleanor brought her lesson to its final and most empowering phase, bringing all these phrases into real life through repetition, reflection, and most importantly, daily use. She reminded her audience that learning a phrase is only the first step. You have to practice it until it becomes part of your voice, she said. Just like learning to ride a bike or play an instrument, speaking naturally in English comes from doing it often, not just studying it. That's why she encouraged viewers to choose 5 phrases from the lesson and commit to using them throughout the day, at work, with friends, or even while practicing alone. To help with this, Eleanor offered mini challenges. Try greeting someone today with, "Good morning, how are you?" she said. Or when someone thanks you, respond with, "Anytime, happy to help." These weren't just mechanical tasks, they were small, courageous acts of communication that would build real-world confidence over time. She also shared how learners can reinforce these phrases by writing them in a notebook, saying them out loud, and even shadowing her practice dialogues in the video. The key, she stressed, was consistency. The more often you use these phrases in different situations, the faster they'll become second nature. Then, with a smile, she gently reminded everyone of something many forget. Progress is personal. Even if you only master one new phrase today, that's still progress, and that matters. In a world where many English learners feel pressure to speak quickly or perfectly, Eleanor's message felt like a relief, permission to grow at your own pace. Before wrapping up, she reviewed the incredible journey viewers had just taken, learning how to greet others with confidence, ask for help politely, share opinions and feelings with warmth, express care during emotional moments, and navigate daily tasks like shopping, making plans, or asking for directions, all through short, practical, and powerful phrases. She ended the video with a gentle challenge. Use these phrases not just to speak English, but to live in it. To take what was once a foreign language and turn it into a tool for connection, kindness, and confidence. And with that, Eleanor signed off. Thank you for joining me today. Keep practicing, keep improving, and remember, your progress matters. As the screen faded to black, learners weren't just left with vocabulary, they were left with something far more valuable, a voice they could trust, and the confidence to use it every day, in every conversation, one simple phrase at a time.